What in the name of everything that is holy? The Buffalo Bills called the New York Jets at the trade deadline? Oh, you wouldn't believe for what? Unbelievable. We're going to talk about that, the injury report, Jets, Browns, and so much more. Boy Green Daily starts now.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets. We're built for this shit.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Leston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcasts. Welcome to the program, everybody. We've had a lot of bonus interviews this week. Taylor Lewan, three-time Pro Bowler. That was a lot of fun. And then last night, also Jake Arthur, talking about Adonai Mitchell. Again, we'll have the Dallas Cowboys' Mazi Smith full breakdown coming on Monday. Of course, again, our thoughts are sent out to the Dallas community at this time. Understandably, that interview had to be delayed. So again, that we'll reconvene that one next week on Monday. And then last night, I spoke with NFL information broker Benjamin Albright in a pre-recorded interview. And did he share a nugget that is very interesting? We'll get into that in just a second. Let's welcome in my co-host for today's festivities. It is Hop on Pop live from Romania.
Hey now.
What's going on, Pop? My number one Romanian fan over there.
That's true, moron.
Okay, there we go. Pop, let's get into it here. We have a full article in the YouTube description down below. This is an exclusive. Benjamin Albright joined me on my show last night, and I had seen him tweet a couple days ago that he knew the Buffalo Bills called the Jets, but it didn't go anywhere. And I'm like, what the hell did the Buffalo Bills call the Jets for? So when we got him on the interview, I asked him, and we'll play this short right now. After the show, you guys can check out the full interview with Benjamin Albright, which was fun. It was about 16, 17 minutes, and man, it had a lot of interesting stuff about the Jets making a quarterback trade potentially with these assets, what that looks like, and the name you should watch out for. But also this nugget. Let's go to this clip that's also on our YouTube Shorts, Instagram, and Twitter, just posted a few minutes ago. Let's go to this. Now, Benjamin, on social media, on X, you said that you know the Buffalo Bills called the New York Jets ahead of the NFL trade deadline. Is there anything more you can provide on that?
Oh, they were sniffing out Garrett Wilson, and they weren't anywhere. It was not going to be close. It was, they're just a heat check. I know that they called, just like they called the Commanders, about their wide receiver room and possibly bringing a defensive end back. So it's, the Bills were dialing around just to get a heat check on some things. And hey, if the right number just happens to pop out of somebody's mouth, maybe we can make a deal. But no, they were, the Jets made it very clear they were not moving Garrett Wilson, and that was pretty much that.
Get the hell out of here. Are you kidding me? The Buffalo Bills called the Jets about Garrett Wilson? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Again, let me make this very clear. Garrett Wilson's untouchable. You heard it there from Benjamin Albright. It's explained in the piece down below. That's one of the players, when people called, Connor Hughes has a story in his piece, that a team called a week ago before the trade deadline and said, hey, Garrett Wilson, Jets might get out of here. He's untouchable. Hangs up the phone. Then after Sauce Gardner gets traded, that same team, according to Connor Hughes of SNY, called the Jets back. And the Jets never picked that. So there's apparently multiple trade calls for Garrett. Whoever that person was, the Jets didn't even pick up the phone because they knew why they were calling. And so they didn't even pick it up. No, thank you. Garrett Wilson unavailable. Garrett Wilson is a supremely talented receiver. He's untouchable. But if the Jets ever decided he wasn't untouchable, I'll tell you who's on the no-trade list. The Buffalo Bills, the New England Patriots, and the Miami Dolphins. Pound sand, buddy. There's a 0% chance if Garrett Wilson was ever available, I would ever trade him inside division where I'd have to see him twice a year, every year and as good as Garrett was for the next decade, and I'm watching it in my face of the guy I traded. I don't give a crap what they offer. Hell no. What a ridiculous thing for the Buffalo Bills to do, to call the Jets ahead of the trade deadline. That's stupid.
All right. What is this where we're talking about your clickbaitness?
It's
Right.
not clickbait. It's very clear that the
Are there any
Buffalo Bills-
facts? Are there any facts about like what did they offer? Do we have any deets?
No, why would there be? Again, not available. So there's not. Well, it's not available, but let me hear what you have. No, I don't give a shit what your offer is. No, that's what the Jets' response was, as it should be. I don't care what their offer
If
is.
we rewind, do you remember what your list of untradeable people were going into the?
And it included Garrett Wilson,
Who else did it include?
Armand Membu,
Anybody else? Keep going.
Olumuyiwafashanu.
Then the last one.
Let's see. Unclear. I'm not sure who else was on that list.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Does that help? Does that help you at all?
That no longer rings any bells.
Yeah, right, because it wasn't there wasn't enough spice in the sauce, so to speak, to keep that running. But yeah, Sauce Gardner, wasn't he on your list of untradables?
He may have been.
What's that?
But he may have been, but their list and my list don't have to be the same. But at least we're the same on Garrett Wilson. He's not going anywhere, which, by the way, makes sense. He has a direct impact on your next quarterback. He's the star receiver. That puts you in a better Garrett Wilson, Mason Taylor, the offensive line they have. Whatever next quarterback, and there will be a next one that comes in, is set up pretty well. If you didn't have Garrett Wilson, it would not be set up as well.
Before we get to Garrett, how do you feel about Sauce leaving?
My parents died when I was 5. Would you like to talk about that? Not great, Bob. But we just lost our 2-time first-team All-Pro. I don't feel great about it at all. It's I don't know. Why would I ask? I'm not sure. Yeah, it feels like a dick punch. We lost Sauce Gardner. Now, again, from learning about it in a trampoline of balloons with a asleep 1-year-old 2 feet away from me and swearing into my phone, not knowing what was beyond the 2 first-round picks and what the hell happened, like, devastating. It's still devastating. I'm going to have to watch tomorrow in Germany at 9:30, Sauce Gardner strapping up the blue and white against the Atlanta Falcons. That's going to be a mind fuck when I'm watching that. So it's just, it sucks because I bring this up all the time. It is the Family Guy scene where him and Lois are at that used car dealership, and the guy goes, all right, I could give you guys a boat or a mystery box. And Lois immediately goes to stand up and say, yeah, we'll take the boat. And then Peter goes, honey, sure, we could take the boat, but there could be anything in the box, even a boat. We'll take the box. And there's nothing in the box. And it's the intrigue, the draft picks that they got. Man, if you play your card trade, it could be Sauce Gardner. Wait a second. Who do we just trade? So, like, that part is difficult. But, again, what ultimately helped me rationalize days later, losing a player that's this good, is it's not going to matter. If the Jets don't have a quarterback, Sauce Gardner, what Sauce Gardner can be is a conversation I had a few days ago with Tom Moore. Tom Moore's covered the Cleveland Browns for like 50 years. And for Browns fans, Myles Garrett is their guy. Now, they're going to hell. They're not winning anything, but Myles Garrett is their guy. Every week, Browns fans can strap on 95 jerseys and say, that's our guy. When he inevitably goes into the Hall of Fame, you can celebrate that, and that's going to be really cool. But, like, they're not winning anything. So the Jets are like, we're not winning anything. We don't have a quarterback. If we move Sauce and Quinnen, which we'll get to later, we have 5 first-round picks. We are armed and dangerous to be able to find. We're in a position to find. Doesn't guarantee, of course, but we're in a position. There's hope to find that next quarterback. And if we find the quarterback, everything else opens up. If we don't find the quarterback, we're stuck in the vicious cycle. So the thing, it sucked. To see the Sauce Gardner traded stinks. To see your 25-year-old superstar playing for another team sucks. It's not a good feeling. But to know that we're in a position to finally find that quarterback, that gives me some hope for the future.
Right. Yeah. So getting 2 first-round picks for Sauce, you know, when you scrape it into the pile stacks up pretty high. When you spread out the pile, right? How many first-round draft picks make the Pro Bowl ever in their career? Do you know?
It sounds like you have these statistics ready, but go ahead.
Yeah, 34%. So you have a 1 in 3 chance that maybe your first-round draft pick is going to be a Pro Bowler.
Okay.
Or he might get thrown in with a ham sandwich to clear out a roster spot in a trade later on, right?
Okay.
So maybe or you can give away an all-pro. So if 34% make the Pro Bowl, what do you think the percentage is that make all-pro, let alone all-pro, the first 2 years?
I would imagine that percentage is very small since Sauce was the first one to ever do it. So,
yeah, small. But hey, we got the 2 first-round picks. Hey, all right, that's working out pretty well. Pretty good, pretty solid.
So let's go piece by piece to this. First off, so your reaction. So it sounds like you have no reaction to the Jets declining a trade from the Buffalo Bills. So it sounds like you wanted them to entertain it. You wanted them to talk about it.
100% they should have entertained it.
Come on, Dan. That's a ridiculous. No. Again, here's another report that came out, right? So let's bring it to your Cowboys because we'll get to them eventually, right? Micah Parsons is on the block. And what Jerry Jones said is he and his team, when they decided a long time ago that they were really going to seriously consider trading Micah Parsons, they put all 32 teams in the NFL on the board, 31, because they can't trade them to themselves. And they go through and said, okay, we're looking for X. And X was this talented defensive tackle. Anyone who doesn't have that, take them off the board. All right, now we've got 7 teams or something. All right, now let's start building it out what it would look like. And they go through that process, and the Jets were on that list. They called the Jets. Jets said no thanks, and then it went to later. One of the teams that called the Dallas Cowboys looking for Micah Parsons and offering a crazy deal was the Philadelphia Eagles inside your division. But here's the thing that I said earlier. Micah Parsons is really talented. All other 31 teams should be interested in Micah, depending on price and talking about it. The player themselves, they should be interested in. Garrett Wilson, 31 teams are going to be interested in Garrett Wilson. So, the Cowboys had the choice. They could send him wherever they wanted. Now, they wanted to get the best deal for themselves, of course, but there's a balance, and they didn't want to see him twice a year. Hell, a lot of people were even surprised he stayed, he being Micah Parsons, in the NFC conference entirely because they ended up playing him. Most people assumed they'd send him to the abyss of the AFC, and all right, see you over there. We'll try to be as far away from you as possible. So trading inside the division is normally a no-no. And if you do it, there's an extra divisional price if you're ever going to do it. There's no way in hell that you do that deal.
Yeah, I think that's fugazi. I think
what's fugazi?
That you can trade within the division. Who gives a shit? Let's get factual on it.
Sure.
Garrett Wilson, during the course of his career, you know what he's going to do when he shows up over the first 3 years of his NFL career and currently this year. He's gonna scare the shit out of you with his 65 yards receiving per game. Oh my God! Here comes Garrett Wilson. You better hide. He's gonna rack up 65 yards a game against us, and 0.4 touchdowns. What? Who gives a shit? Right?
So you think that if he got traded to the Buffalo Bills to Josh Allen, he'd be getting 60 yards a game? You think those numbers would just stay the same? Come on, Dad.
He spreads the ball around. What I'm saying is it doesn't matter if they're inside. I wouldn't care if the Dallas Cowboys got a better deal for someone inside the division. The Giants have some solid interior linemen. I've been happy, right? And once again, I said it before it happened. I said it before it was a mainstream common theme. I am beyond happy that we traded Micah Parsons away.
Right.
Beyond happy. It has worked out every which way. Because of Micah Parsons leaving, we now have 4 Pro Bowlers locked on our team. 4 Pro Bowlers. We traded for 1. We extended 2 other contracts of 2 other Cowboys. Multiple-time Pro Bowlers with the Cowboys got extended with the money we didn't pay Micah. And we used the leverage and the trade pick to get the Jets' best defensive player. The best player on the Jets team is now a Dallas Cowboy. So that
Micah Parsons Sauce is probably the better player, but
definitely not.
The draft return would also suggest that, but
that's definitely not true.
Okay,
so
you would have been fine trading him to the Philadelphia Eagles if the Philadelphia Eagles. So it was 2.
If they had if they had a comparable play, yes,
which they did. Look at all their defensive tackles. It's not Jalen Carter is the name. If the Philadelphia Eagles said, "Hey Cowboys, 2 firsts and Jalen Carter, let's dance." Your response would have been what?
It would depend on the difference in the other trades on the table.
Well, the other trade, we know that the Packers is the one they accepted. There was 2 ones of Kenny Clark.
Correct. If it was that
Jalen Carter is a much better player than Kenny Clark. So that's what I'm saying. So that's a better offer.
Then it would be then you'd have to consider, do Is it worth it to get the player? Is the player that much better? Is he going to fit into our scheme that much better? Or can we not make this a thing twice a year for the next 5 years? So it is a consideration, but it's not no way at all. So you got to consider it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I guess that's just where we're going to have to agree to disagree. And that's where I'm at here on this stuff. I'm glad that Garrett Wilson is untouchable. Again, first off, because I liked meeting Garrett Wilson a couple months ago. I like the autographed jersey I had. I'd like it to continue to be in the realm of the universe of not wearing a player that was just moved, like Sauce and Quinnen, those jerseys I was hanging up over here a week ago. Unfortunately, those I'll have to find very unique times to wear those now, unfortunately, which is unfortunate.
Do you have a wing? Have you segregated your jerseys?
Segregated. I prefer a different word choice, please. But anywho, go ahead.
Okay, calm down. Am I using your right pronoun? Anyways, do you have a section of the closet? Not that. No, I can use the word closet here before you jump onto something else. Next year. So you have, the great players that are no longer with the Jets that played on other teams, like Joe Namath. But,
Mangold,
do you have that?
God bless to Nick Mangold. I'll be wearing that jersey tomorrow.
Nick Mangold didn't play for another team, right?
Well, yeah, you said former Jets. He would be a former Jet.
I said that played for another team. You didn't listen to the whole sentence. That played for another team. But you have this section of where's the Vernon Golston? Is Justin Fields' jersey going to join the Vernon Golston jersey in the closet?
I still wear the Vernon Golston jersey every draft.
I know. You're pathetic.
Who would wear that jersey? Burn it? No. Hell no.
I don't want you to burn it because I bought it, for God's sake.
Well, I'm going to wear it till I'm dead. I'm going to wear that in the casket.
You should wear that in the casket because, just like his career, you'd both be dead.
Oh, there we go. Unbelievable.
Yes, I think you should have at least considered taking the call, see what they're willing to offer. And because information is power. Even if you're never going to take the trade, you should have listened to what was available, what they were willing to, because that's information. Whether it's this year or future year, you don't know. Because the Jets said, and I hadn't paid that much attention at the time, but the way they structured both Sauces and Garrett Wilson's contract was essentially, I think they got the exact same signing bonus. They structured it the same so they would be able to trade them. That's an article that I read.
I saw it on Sauce. I was not aware of that on Garrett, but I'd have to go back and look through Garrett's contract.
Yeah, I think their signing bonus was the same. The structure was the same to give them the flexibility, which is very, very odd that they would do that. But they did. Maybe he's a genius. I don't know. But that is what I read. Is that the signing bonus, I think, was exactly the same, $13.8 million.
Okay. Maybe so. Yeah.
And they put themselves in a position that nothing is off the table. And I think that's the way they need that mentality. Nothing is off the table for us to succeed. And I think that's a good idea.
So in theory, what you say makes sense, right? You take the call, you get the information. What's information? Information just good. Like, okay, wow, the Bills would offer 3 first-round picks and their firstborn son. But
maybe they did. We just don't know what they are.
No, of course not. And I'm glad we don't know. Because here's the problem, right? Here's the problem that it's not talked about enough. If you receive the call and vet out the call, that's how Jamal Adams got pretty pissed a bunch of years ago that the Jets took calls on Jamal Adams and did not do the Garrett Wilson thing. Get the hell out of here. He's not available. Boop. Hung up the phone. Now, it worked out did it really work out for the Jets? It worked out that they got Garrett, speaking of Garrett, and Elijah Tucker, but they didn't win with that deal, but they were able to get assets with it. But, when you take the call, that's what I don't want to upset Garrett. I like having Garrett here. I don't want to, to me, Garrett is such a foundational key piece. I thought Sauce was too, but Garrett was even more important because that's directly affiliated with the quarterback. Sauce wasn't, which made him expendable in a way. If we're pushing people off the boat and we're like, boy, someone's got to get pushed off, and it's Sauce or Garrett, I'm pushing Sauce off the boat with all due respect, and I'm keeping Garrett. And the Jets evaluated it the same way.
That doesn't free you. We're pushing you off the boat, Sauce. All due respect.
Well, I should have probably said that to begin instead of the end, but different strokes.
Yeah, and by the way,
Okay.
Signs of weak organizations that the leadership team should be able to take phone calls that the players never know about. It's none of their business, right?
Well, right, but
It
what if
is.
the Buffalo Bills leak it, right? So that's inside secret
Well,
agency,
you're like,
right?
that didn't happen.
But
happen.
well, it did. It did that. I was able to
No.
find out that the call
Yes.
happened. I'm saying if the Bills, right? So the Bills call the Jets, and in their head they're like, "There's no way the Jets are accepting this," but let's call and have a conversation. If the Jets have some back and forth, it would behoove the Bills to go all Peter Baelish and share. Whisper to the right answer. Did you know that we and the Jets had a deep conversation about a Garrett Wilson trade? Maybe he's not so safe. Whisper, and inserts go, interesting, and share that.
Keep your little finger to yourself, buddy.
Well,
so, anyways,
that also is not ideal.
I would tell you that what really has happened. We talked about Woody is
Are you saying Woody or Woody?
I'm talking about the guy from Toy Story. He's really he really hugs Aaron Glenn a lot because really right now, Aaron Glenn and Muji have put themselves in a position to ensure that they're not going anywhere anytime soon, because otherwise that would be really stupid. And in regards to AA62174 brings up a phenomenal I don't know who that is, but they bring up a good point. Oh, okay. He brings up a good point that if you think about it, there's the potential for the Jets not to be the Jets for the first time in a long time. And what I mean by that is this: with the bank account full of money, right, in the draft capital wide open, right, there's literally no excuses anymore. 2 years from now, 2 to 3 years, and the problem is because you get a draft, and it's not instant Quaker Oats here, but 2 or 3 years from now, we're going to know, there's never going to be a better time than there is right now. Are you ever going to have that much draft capital again? Are you ever going to have that much money available in cap space again? Unlikely to be in this situation again. Unlikely. And so they better show up and show out is what I'm saying.
It's, I'm oversimplifying it, but it requires the oversimplification. The Jets need to find a quarterback. The good news is that they're in a position for any scenario that pops up. They just suck, and they have the number 1 overall pick. That will be influenced by games against the Browns tomorrow, the Jaguars later, Saints later, excuse me, and we'll see what happens there. And another game against the Dolphins. So the Jets could just they suck. Oh boy, this random quarterback. He's the guy. Solved. They could do it that way. 2027. 2026 sucks. We'll get him in 2027. 3 first-round picks. One of them should probably land on the right quarterback bingo card. Sure, maybe that happens. Maybe it's a unique free agent situation. I haven't looked that far out to see which free agents would be available that could have swung, but okay. And then, of course, the trade, which, again, we talked about that with Benjamin Albright after Boy Green Daily. You guys should check that out in the video section. He had some very interesting thoughts. I'm not sure if I agree with them, but still, I like getting all the information on the opportunity.
Yeah, and that's really it. They really could go several different directions. And I don't think there's a wrong direction. If they could, with the resources that they have available is the word I was looking for. With the resources they have available, they could get a quarterback about to go on to his second contract.
You were looking for the SS Minnow. The SS Minnow is what you were looking for there. Yeah.
Yeah. And so is that the right move? Now, the only problem is whether it's a rookie quarterback or not, not the Brett Favre debacle, not the Aaron Rodgers, whatever you want to call that. You want that guy going into a second contract. But where the Jets have failed, is they have not brought in. They brought in good quarterbacks, but they haven't brought in resources to help develop those quarterbacks. Geno Smith has had a pretty good NFL career.
It's been going a little for him personally, right? He just got $75 million, and things are burning on fire there in Vegas. But.
Right. Well, Vegas, that's a different issue. Pro Bowler, though, I'm saying he has talent. Sam Darnold has talent.
Sure.
We'll never know about Zach Wilson, but we never afforded them the opportunity with the help they needed to help develop. They went somewhere where that person had a quarterback whisperer, and then they had the talent. The talent was available. Geno Smith was leading the league in passing. He's throwing the ball all over the place and being successful. That's all I'm saying. Sam Darnold, Minnesota Vikings. What was their win-loss record last year?
14-3.
14-3. Talent. So I'm saying that talent was available and on the Jets roster. We just didn't know how to use it. And Aaron Glenn, who and Muji, I think they made a good partnership. We'll see how Aaron Glenn develops. It's too soon to call, if you will. If this is an election, too soon to call. But if they were to get that rookie quarterback, right, he needs somebody, and not of the run-of-the-mill somebody that's going to help out the young quarterback, get, a quarterback whisperer, get a dynamic offensive mind, because it's not Aaron Glenn, no fault of his own, right? But you need somebody in there. You need an assistant head coach or whatever it takes. They're out there.
Yeah, I agree. If you assess this Jet staff, right, because it's not about what's happening right now, it's about what happens. Let's say it's a draft, because that would be the number one option. That'd be the easiest, most understandable option that the Jets could explore to fill this quarterback void. If you look at the staff as is, it is missing that certain je ne sais quoi. And unfortunately, God rest his soul, Greg Knapp was supposed to be that for the Jets. He was the overall glue guy. There's a lot of young guys, but he was the perfect guy to be at the top of the pyramid and explain it all, and all his knowledge would flow down to everybody else. And unfortunately, he tragically passed away, and Zach Wilson never really got to work with him more than a couple of months, and that happened before training camp. If you look at the staff, maybe that guy is your guy. Pop is Scott Turner, the old son of Norv Turner over there. Maybe, he can bring Dad along. Or we heard the rumors about the Kubiaks, last offseason. So whoever that is, I wouldn't mind bringing in more knowledge, the better. Now, you don't want too many cooks in the kitchen, but it would be great. I think what leaders do is that they delegate and that they assess their teams and say, okay, I'm strong in this area, but I'm weak in this area. I want to round out the staff here. Who's someone that can fill that missing piece in the coaching staff, or a czar is probably too aggressive of a term, but again, someone that can be around the team, not too informally, that it's some role, but it doesn't have to be like a coach, but that they're like, again, what was Bill Parcells' gig at the end? It wasn't director of football operations, but he had something like that, and that would be important for on the offensive side of the ball. So the Jets should 100% explore that. This quarterback conversation is something we're going to debate and talk about for many, many months to come, and we'll see. I know on tomorrow's show, we're going to have NFL insider Matt Lombardo on the show, and he already gave me a heads up of a plan he has sort of been thrown around in his head for the Jets. And I'm like, oh boy, that's one we haven't talked about. So that'll be interesting tomorrow about a potential trade where the Jets could give multiple firsts for a certain quarterback that could become available that apparently we haven't been talking about yet. So, well, again, we should have every conversation to see what's good and what's bad, but Pop, I think everyone's been on the edge of their seat. We have 300 people in the room. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. Appreciate it. Again, we have the exclusive article in the YouTube description down below. Shout out to Benjamin Albright. He joined me last night for a pre-recorded conversation. I heard him tweet that the Bills and Jets had a trade conversation. I'm like, what could they have possibly been asking about? Like, well, what conversation could they have had? And Benjamin revealed that it was Garrett Wilson the Bills were after. They have great taste, but get the hell out of here. It's Scrooge to get out of here is what it was. But you guys could check it all out in the YouTube description down below in that conversation. But Pop, we talked about it months ago. Like, Quinnen Williams? And I don't think you were as interested in Quinnen Williams a couple of months ago, but you had a recent change about a week from the trade deadline that people noticed. And you mentioned it even more recent than the week before. It was on Monday. I said, hey, before you go from Romania, because next time we talk to you will be post-trade deadline. Like, hey, any predictions, expectations? He said, Quinnen Williams, Cowboys, 2 firsts, and like it's going to happen. It was very close. You would say a first and a second and a former first rounder is sort of close to his 2 first package. So let's throw it up here on the bingo card. This was the Jets-Cowboys trade. It is official Mazi Smith. Again, we'll do a full Mazi Smith player breakdown with my good guy, RJ Ochoa That will be coming on Monday. People really see, and thank you guys so much for the support. You guys really seem to dig the Adonai Mitchell deep dive with our Indianapolis Colts insider. You guys gave a resounding response to that. So thank you guys so much for all the views and clicks on that. Again, we'll have another one with the Cowboys coming up on Monday. But Pop, walk us through, because Jet fans want to hear your perspective on this unique relationship and partnership here where you guys acquired Quinnen Williams. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think this is a win for both teams.
Okay.
And I would say the people that graded the Cowboys in this trade should buy this shirt that I'm wearing.
Wait, let me get a quick gander at the shirt you're wearing. What? I see. Yeah, because ESPN Seth Walder gave you guys an F. An F.
Yeah. And so to me, I would really call this, to look at this and everything else, I would call it the Micah Parsons trade tree.
Okay.
The Micah Parsons trade tree. And I'll walk through it and it'll get us here, right?
Okay.
The Cowboys traded Micah Parsons,
Mm-hmm.
right, and got 2 first-round draft picks from Green Bay.
And a player, yep.
And a player,
Yep.
right? And so they got Kenny Clark,
Yep.
Pro Bowler.
3-time Pro Bowler, yep.
3-time Pro Bowler, defensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboys did not pay Micah Parsons a ungodly sum of money that he was asking for. That allowed them to sign 2 of their Pro Bowl players to long-term deals, 4-year deals. Tyler Smith and Bland to 4-year extensions based on the money they saved by not signing Micah Parsons. So they got Kenny,
Mm-hmm.
they get Tyler Smith, they have
Sure.
Bland, and then they still had the first-round draft pick. That's essentially I'll get back to the one flaw in the trade in a section, and then they bring in another Pro Bowler. So now they have 4 Pro Bowlers on the team for giving away Micah Parsons. That is money in the bank. 3 starting defensive players and 1 starting offensive lineman, multiple-time Pro Bowler, 2 years in a row in the Pro Bowl. So this is part of that tree. If you dissect it and look at it, you look at this little piece of it. You look at the bigger picture. As an NFL person, you look at the bigger picture. And so I think it's great for the Jets. The win for the Jets of the Cowboy, the edge to the Jets I'll give them for this trade is in the Cowboys. I would not have accepted this. And I still think you would have gone like the Jets would like, hey, how about this? And no. Okay, we'll take that then. So I think the part that was optional for the Cowboys is we're going to tell you which 2027 first round pick. You're not going to get the better of the. God bless the Jets. They got it great.
Yeah, no matter what. So, yeah, for folks that don't know, just to explain that, the Jets received a 2026 second, a 2027 first, and Mazi Smith. The second is the Cowboys, and the Jets will get that. More on that later. The 2027 first, the Cowboys have 2 first-round picks. They have the Green Bay Packers first-round pick that they got from the Micah Parsons trade, and their own first-round pick. Darren Muji negotiated that no matter what happens, so both picks are frozen, by the way. That means the Cowboys can't trade the other first-round pick because we don't know which one will be better. So those are called frozen assets in the NFL, just to explain that. So the Cowboys won't be able to use those assets until we figure it out. But yeah, so whatever pick ends up being better. If one's 5th overall, one's 10th, Jets get the 5th overall pick. That's how it works. But go ahead, Pop.
Yeah, and so that would have been the no I would have said. And I'm sure the Jets would have taken it regardless. Right.
Maybe.
So Muji goes, hey, we want the better one. Cowboys like, pack sand where the sun doesn't shine, buddy. And then, okay, we'll still take the second and the first. Right. So that to me is the win on that is Quinnen Williams worth a second and first. I said so. I said he was worth 2 first. He is what the Cowboys have been lacking. He is the reason that the last 2 losses in the playoffs, both to the 49ers and Green Bay, some of it was not Dan Campbell,
Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn, thank you. Some of it was Dan Quinn's philosophy on defense. It's obviously pretty good, 28-3. But anyways, but we haven't had a solid run stoppers, and you just go look at those 2 games, and that's why the Cowboys clearly lost those 2 games. They get the shit pounded on them. They just pounded the ball up the middle. This and Kenny Clark will shore that up. and the price really doesn't matter. It's the results that count. And this price for the 2027 again is free. Again, the whole Micah Parsons trade tree, that first round pick, we'll still have a first round pick.
That's true.
Second round pick, okay, right? And Mazi Smith, right? He would have been cut.
Yes.
You're like,
So
hey, can we put you on? Hey, we'll give you Mazi Smith. Oh, you'll give us Mazi Smith? Oh, we'll take him.
Yeah, the Cowboys have been trying to get rid of Mazi Smith for months. I mean, that's been widely reported.
Mazi Smith is the Alan Lazard of the Dallas Cowboys.
That's a good
comparison.
comparison.
I remember in the offseason, we were doing a show, and you're like, the Jets have thrown out there that Alan Lazard might be available for the right price. What's the right price? Half a bag of peanuts? The
same thing came out ahead of the trade deadline. Albert Breer had this, and I love Albert Breer. We'll have him on the show one day. He's on the the Moby Dick list of really great insiders I love. He did a trade deadline article, and he had all this fascinating stuff. Will McDonald this, Jermaine Johnson this. He said, and by the way, Michael Clemens is available. Oh, is he? Oh, thank you. Yeah, so he's available. That's all the information he had on that particular nugget. Just so you know, available. Thanks, Albert. Water is also wet.
Yes. So I would tell you, in a rare situation, I think it's a clear win for the Jets and a clear win for the Cowboys. The nuances for the Jets, you get Mazi Smith. We'll see how long he makes, and who knows?
Maybe a new scheme.
I doubt
situation.
I doubt it. It could be a resurgence, although defensive linemen, that's not typically like there's nuances to a quarterback and a scheme and the offensive line. The talent you have around a defensive line, you're lining up against a fatty. Can you get around him? Can you tackle? So it's unlike there are different schemes, and I get it. And
Bryce Huff, right? Bryce Huff, 10 sacks here. Oh, Eagles, 49ers. Oh, back up again. So like that, there's examples.
Yeah, so maybe, but yeah, the nuance of the better of the first round picks. That was I don't understand why you would do that. And then the nuance of and because you could put in the contract that we could do whatever we want, that whatever first we have available, you can have.
Yeah,
we can't trade, go from 20th to 33rd and then give you that one. But we can get rid of the other one. I think they locked themselves in for no reason on that. But overall, I'm more than satisfied with the trade, and it really will get. Will the Cowboys be able to take Kenny Clark and these other pieces and figure out this defensive stuff or not? Right. And so this was a big move. And I'm not saying that the Cowboys are one player away from Super Bowl contention, but if you watched them, right, there were times that the Cowboys had to be in a shootout because the defense sucked. Right. And you look at it very similar to the Jets. Jets are 1-7. How many of those are one-score games? You go back and the Cowboys lost to the Eagles a couple points, tied with Green Bay, the Carolina game. If the defense had stepped up, the Cowboys would have 6 wins right now. They'd be 6-2 and whatever, 6 and whatever. But anyways, so they're not one play away from the Super Bowl, but this will significantly contribute. I'm laughing because of the Bengals person we acquired made me.
Yes. I would say this. So 2 things here. Okay. I agree with most of what you said on your assessment of the Quinnen Williams trade, but there's 2 things here. Number one, obviously the Cowboys believe this, but it's a question, I think, to everyone else. Can the Cowboys make a run this year? Because currently they're 3-5-1. Here's the remainder of their schedule. Let's show this up on the screen. They're currently in a bye week. So Raiders, okay. Yeah, pass the biscuits. That should be a win. Eagles, up in the air. Chiefs, up in the air. Lions, up in the air. I'd give you Minnesota. Chargers, I'd probably give you as well. And Washington Giants. So, like, if those 3 losses, let's say the ones that are up in the air, and let's just say Eagles, Chiefs, and Lions are all losses. The Cowboys are 3-5-1. That means the best they could be is 8-8-1 if my 3 games, and that means they win all the other ones, but they lose those 3. 8-8-1 is likely not going to be in the playoffs. So for the win for the Jets on that 2026 second is that second at this current moment in time, and that assessment I just provided likely has that Cowboys second round pick in the front half of the second round. So that's likely, very likely, a top 45 pick. So on that for the Cowboys, the timing of the trade, of deciding to do it now in the middle of a season where you are 3-5-1, and that record was known before you made the trade, that's where the Jets could say, win for the Jets. The other potential whatever you want to throw into this trade is I've seen a lot of Cowboys people say, yeah, look at that crazy price the Packers had to pay for Micah Parsons, $47 million. Okay, look at Quinnen. We've got him at this sweetheart deal at blee, blah, blue. Well, part of the reason Quinnen is no longer a Jet is because he only had $5 million more in guaranteed money left in his deal after the season. He wanted the Jets to address that. The Jets said no. So then that led to some of these other problems. So inevitably, the Cowboys are going to have to pay Quinnen Williams something. Now, the good news is that the evolution of the defensive tackle market comparatively to the edge rusher market is massively different. Micah Parsons is number one at $47 million. The highest paid defensive tackle in football right now, I still believe, is Chris Jones, which is about $30.5 million. So there's a $16 million gap between the top of the market. And that's if the Cowboys pay Quinnen the top of the market. But there still is going to be a bump up, inevitably, I would assume, this offseason. And Quinnen has the leverage because the Cowboys already traded for him. So he knows that they gave up all those assets. It's like the Jamal Adams thing. When the Jets traded Jamal Adams to Seattle, they didn't pay him immediately. Jamal's like, sweet, I want to be the highest paid safety in football. And what other choice did the Seahawks have? So they had to bend the knee and make him the highest paid safety in football. We'll see if Quinnen's able to do that, but that's the other bugaboo that's in this trade that no one's talking about. That he's obviously going to have to get paid. And again, where the Cowboys are, how much is their belief that they can actually turn this season around? Because again, if those three losses happen, and those are all realistic losses to me about those potential ones happening, which are, again, Eagles, Chiefs, and Lions in back-to-back games, it looks a little dicey.
The Cowboys have to go 6-2. And I think if they go 6-2 at 9-8-1, I think they will have a good opportunity of making the playoffs. If going 6-2.
Right. So can they do that? That's a question to be had.
Right. And because, you look at, the most concerning game for me is the Lions. I think the Eagles and the Chiefs are both beatable.
And both of those are at home for you, so you should feel good about that part about it. But the other thing is those two games are 4 days apart. Yes, exactly what I was going to say. You play the Eagles on the 23rd, Chiefs on 27th. You get bonus time, sort of. Oh, it's Thursday, so you don't. There is
opposite of bonus time.
Yikes.
Yeah, so if you look at it, they literally have the least amount of time for a 3-game span.
And it's those three teams. Jeez.
No. It's actually, I'm talking about the Vegas, Philly, Kansas City, right? Monday to Sunday to Thursday.
Oh, yes. That one. Right, that's the 10 days. Stretch. Right. They explored that last season where you can have 3 games in 10 days. So, yes, that's the furthest teams have been pushed. Right. Correct. Yes.
Right. You are to the limit. And then, and then you realize you're flying across the country. Vegas to Dallas, not that far.
And you're coming off a bye, so that sort of gets mitigated, right?
Yeah. So, but the Philly to Kansas City is,
nothing because it's at home.
Right. So,
but what about the contract element? The contract element, then we'll get to the phone line. So again,
I think he's got I think if he was with the Jets this year, next year or this offseason, it'd be a bigger stink raised. I think how he produces over the next 8 weeks will make it viable for him if he just needs to shut up and show up next year and then advertise himself. So I think it's really in his court. I don't think it's as dire as you outline. I think the Cowboys might have to do something, but I think it's more about what he does over the next 8 games to see if it's something they have to do this offseason or if he has room that he has to continue to prove himself.
And he's a good guy, so I don't think he's going to do this, but you don't want to Hassan Reddick as a guy that just experienced that. Not great, Bob. Not great.
Yeah, and I'll say this about Quinnen Williams. We don't know. Obviously, he's been a solid player in the NFL for a long time.
Sure.
And you didn't hear a peep. You think about,
No, right.
some insider might have heard something. Everyone's a fucking genius today, right? But the reality is we didn't know that he was unhappy. One tweet that he deleted,
Correct.
that can happen to anybody. So
Sure.
shut up if that's what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't know that, now it's coming out that, yeah, he had been asking for, a trade for
3 times, right? Yeah.
Right. But he wasn't doing it in the public.
He wasn't demonstrative, no.
Yeah, he came in, he did what he could do. He had a couple, but it's got to be frustrating.
I assume so.
You're a player that's giving you your all as a Pro Bowl player, and you in his mind, we get Aaron Rodgers, and I can't blame him for that tweet. I wouldn't like the tweet, but I can't blame him for the tweet.
I agree. Yeah.
So there you go.
Okay, fair enough. All right, is there anything else you want to get off your chest? Oh, well, prediction, I
Two
guess.
things.
Two
things.
Sure, yeah.
Jared B.
Oh, yeah, let me go full screen for you here. Roshan. Okay.
There you go. So you wonder about the chocolate. He always asks about the chocolate. It's not like the envelope in Abu Dhabi, but and actually it's a Lithuanian chocolate.
Oh, did I pronounce that correctly, or is that a different pronunciation there?
No, I think you did.
Okay,
I think you
great.
pronounced it correct. And if not, who cares? But that chocolate is made in Lithuania. So
very nice. Oh, God bless. Pour one out. All right. And your point number 2?
Point number 2 is a shout out to Momji. Momji.
Yeah.
Mimosas and bacon. Didn't have any of that today, but God bless. And make sure a couple things. I haven't seen any super chats. I haven't seen any subscriptions. I haven't seen anything for this month's raffle. So let's go.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, take a moment and take that like button to Pound Town.
Yes, let's highlight that right now. So again, we have, let me make sure I get an accurate number here. We have 400 people in the room. 119 of those are on YouTube. Look at that. Some more chocolates. Jared B is reacting to that in the comments section, which we really appreciate. My pop is in Romania right now. It is Boy Green and my pop here on the show. We only have 47 likes, but 120 people in the room. Again, that math, don't math people. Make sure you guys like the video. And I've been trying like all hell to give you guys all kinds of sweet-ass content. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. We had the great Benjamin Albright interview yesterday. We had Jake Arthur of the Indianapolis Colts. That was terrific. Taylor Lewan, my new best buddy, apparently. What a fun guy that guy was. Taylor Lewan joining us, the 3-time Pro Bowler. To talk all things New York Jets and the trades and everything else. We're going to have some more big-time interviews coming up next week, so I've been setting up a lot of stuff. So make sure you guys show your love, baby, and make those memberships rain from the high heavens, because, Pop, this, I don't know, you tell me, because, I want to make sure that I don't misrepresent something in the universe here of saying, saying something is this and it's really not. But I think when you look at our raffle prize for this month, I think this is perhaps the coolest raffle prize we've ever had. It seems really friggin' cool. And again, I want to give a massive shout out, of course, to the Marty Lyons Foundation, an absolutely wonderful cause, and was a great place. I always purchase stuff for our raffles or pull stuff from my personal collection. And that's an easy win when you can raise some money for charity also while you're getting prizes for the Boy Green Coffee Club. So here it is. This is the prize for this month. If you guys are new to the channel, you're like, whoa, prizes, what's going on here? We do giveaways every single month on this channel. That's youtube.com/boygreen25. This month's prize, which we give away every first of the month. So the rest of November, you guys are available to try to enter in your raffle tickets. I see we have several memberships coming in. We'll address those in just a second. This is the Marty Lyons college football jersey, played at Alabama. The inscription there on the 9 is to the Boy Green Coffee Club. So thank you, Marty, for doing that. And it says Roll Tide. And his autograph, of course, and then 93 is old Herbie Hancock's right there. And then it has all those wonderful accomplishments. He's in the College Football Hall of Fame. He's a Jets Ring of Honor member. He's the Walter Payton Man of the Year. He still works for the team. He's an ambassador. Of course, he runs, of course, the Marty Lyons Foundation. It's just a beautiful jersey. Good luck to anyone. It's actually right behind me, but it's easier for you guys to see it in this form and fashion. So if you guys want a chance to win this, raffle tickets are $3 a piece. If you hit the little money sign on YouTube, you can gift memberships. You can purchase purchase a Boy Green Coffee Club membership yourself so you can get some of those perks. This Benjamin Albright interview is available for Boy Green Coffee Club members before the general public. It is now available to the general public as well, and make it fly. There's no limit on how many raffle tickets you can have, so let's go. Pop, it seems like your call out to the universe worked immediately here for people gifting memberships, so let's play some catch-up here. Your next-door neighbor, I'm not sure the geography here on that, but number one Oscar Jet fan.
That's a great question. I don't really know where it is, where I am in relation to number one Austrian Jet fan, but that membership went to Stack.
Okay, Stack, nice. And real quick, detour, Pop. You were on a show when you were a kid where you had to like name the 50 states and the capitals. Did you? So anything you want to reshare on that story, feel free to do so. And again, how would you do outside of the United States of America for like countries and stuff just around the world? Is that something that tickled your fancy or not at all?
Not at all.
Okay, great. Pop, anything you want to share on that story?
Yeah, there was a show that aired in New England a long time ago. I can't even tell you how long ago. The Uncle Gus Show. And the Uncle Gus Show had several contests throughout the show. There was the best smile, and then there was a few others, but there was one where he had a blank map of the United States, and he would point at a random state. And he didn't point at like Texas or Florida. He pointed at a random state and ask young children, we're talking about second grade, or so, what state that was. And you had to do that for a contest. And somehow I was lucky enough. I practiced, studied, and I was lucky enough to be selected for that contest. And and I won. So it was good.
Okay. So you had to ultimately name all 50?
No, he picks like 7 or 8. He just points, what's this? What's this? And it's all fun and games until he points to like a middle of the United States state as a second grader, or he points to like between Delaware, like what's this? Or, something like that. You're like, what? Huh? What the?
Yeah, I see. Okay. Well, he
picked a handful. Yeah. He would start off with like Texas, and then he'd go, what's this one? What's this square one in the middle?
All right, smarty pants. What's this? Dingus, you're like, this. Oh, good job, little boy. Now, what about this in the Northeast? Tuck between this and this. That would have been nice. All right, here's another one. Jerby. All right, Pop, who did that membership go to?
Simple Eats. Simple Eats.
Wait a second. It's raining more. At NYJets2824. He gifted a membership. That membership went to whom?
Is that Joshua Langley? Is that who that is?
Is it? Oh, okay, good. Oh, thank you for that. Because again, in this YouTube world where they have this glitch, it's good to know that's Joshua Langley. I should have guessed with the J. So thank you for that. I will put that aside in my notes. Appreciate that.
Teal Tomahawk 16 get that membership.
Okay, thank you. So, yes, and also, if you guys ever, I'm lucky to have my pop here while we're doing this, but if you see that your handle is something weird, as opposed, obviously I know who Josh Langley is and his beautiful bride, Cecilia. If you ever see that I'm referencing you as your handle and I'm not picking up the difference of the name that it changed it to, please let me know and I'll definitely update the leaderboard. I'm keeping track of it all, but just to make sure so it goes to the right person, I want to make sure we do that. So thank you.
Shout out to Josh. It was nice to meet you and Cecilia.
Yeah, that was really cool. They were the great couple. Look at this, a 5-pack from your favorite shipmate. And wait a second, a 5-pack of Boy Green Coffee Club memberships leads to this.
Who wanna fly with them jets?
Oh, man, I'm so fired up for tomorrow. Winning streak continues. Booyah! Gonna take out the Cleveland Browns. I can't wait. All that energy, good vibes, baby. Here we go.
Well, thank you for that, shipmate. And it was a pleasure meeting you in October. So that was Scott P., Brandon Roberts, Duke 092 Go Yard Side Tape.
Okay.
Green Team and Jets Media.
Oh, nice. And shout out to our guy, Devin here. We got to meet his wonderful wife and his daughter. So that was super cool getting to meet his family. So that's, again, amazing, amazing, amazing. So thank you, Devin. It was great to watch a game with you. You were next to me during the game. So we have similar passions and vibes, man, that's for sure. So I really appreciate the 5 memberships coming through, man. That's awesome. We have a beautiful family. Let's go to a super chat here. Aced Up 10, a.k.a. Arthur Sochka. Wait a second, Zariah Luna.
Wow.
It's a great debate. Aced Up 10, a $10 super chat coming through. Thank you very much. And again, I'll update the scrolling ticker with all your guys' memberships you just sent in a moment. I do have the Excel sheet updated, so we'll do that in just a moment here. And thank you again for the $10 super chat. Arthur, do we draft a quarterback or do we use the assets to trade for a veteran? And who? Good morning, Pop and BG. I'll let you guys watch the Benjamin Albright interview. He was the first one I saw it from. So again, the Jets acquire 5 first-round picks this week. And the first-round picks they already had. They have 5 first-round picks to use for the next 2 off seasons. The assumption is, all right, the Jets are going to swing the fences on one of these rookie quarterbacks and get their guy. Benjamin was the first one I saw on Twitter say, or perhaps there's another option. They trade for a veteran. Could be on the table. And I'm like, and a lot of people were responding to him like, who are you talking about? There were an owl out there. Who? And he revealed who on the show. And again, I'm not sure if I agree with it. And I also floated one to him that he firmly rejected and said there is absolutely no chance of that. And you should shut up and never bring that up again. I said, okay, good sir. I won't, but I probably will. So you guys can watch that interview for some of those names that he said. But Pop, first off, just on the question, one or the other, rookie or veteran. The Jets have failed magnificently at both. Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, although Brett Favre at least had that 8-3 start, which was terrific. So veterans, they've explored in the past. Ryan Fitzpatrick, that one sort of worked out for that trade a bunch of years ago. So they've done that before. They've also done the rookie thing before. Sam, Zach, Gino, Bryce Petty, Christian Hackenberg. They've done a lot of those too. So just before we name any names, just the choice of rookie or veteran, which direction to go, where do you lean?
Well, it would really, to me, depend on how comfortable I was with Aaron Glenn with my job.
Well, he must be very good. They just I feel like this, as Taylor Lewan said the other day, and I'm sure others continue to say, this is a massive vote of confidence, what they just did. Because Woody just said 3 weeks ago, Sauce is a foundational piece of this team. It's great to have him locked up. And then he was ready to trade him away. And according to Rich Cimini, when Darren Mugin AG, right, you have to always get approval of the owner for something of this magnitude. When they came in there and said, hey, Woody, we want to trade Sauce. Apparently Woody was like, hey, man, that's why I hired you. You guys make those decisions. So he didn't give him the flack that some people thought he would have. So it sounds like their job security is better than it's ever been.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back to your interview with Greeny, and I agree with them, and although you have no problem disagreeing with me, you just are bobbing head doll when it was Greeny. He said if you drafted a rookie quarterback in 2026, he wanted him to rest and sit
the whole year,
the entire year, not see his face on the field.
Yeah.
And then, so now in 2027, so I'm just drawing a picture here.
Okay.
So if we go the rookie route,
okay, mm-hmm.
And it is a entirely good philosophy to have him sit, ride the bench, learn. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then his first year of playing would be 2027. And then reasonably you would say that he's ready to come out firing on all cylinders in 2028. Now we're 3 full seasons from now. Now you're right. I mean, so let's just think about what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And so now Garrett Wilson's on the last year of his deal, right? And so you're just like, So it's really, and that's not an unreasonable time frame, right? Mm-hmm. And that's if you hit on him, right? In 2028, look out. Here we go. Mm-hmm. Now the fan base, like, that sounds like shit. I mean, and it's like, that sounds like shit. So I will tell you, and I'm not here to say I told you so.
But
you know, if you believe the Jets have a good foundation, if you believe that 2028 could be where we want to go, 2028 is where you would end up with a rookie quarterback. Sorry.
right. Yep.
And I think the Jets and their offensive line, the Jets in the running back room, the wide receiver, the tight end, the defense that is now, although we don't know what they are anymore. But anyways, right now, right, you had, you know, what's the cool new game? The Danny Dimes. If you had Danny Dimes now,
Indiana Jones.
yeah, if you had Danny Dimes now, right, what would the future look like next year with this core team?
Who knows?
So I would figure out every quarterback, what their contract is, what the reasonability, like what would be, you do all this work to figure out what it would take to get this person to come in and succeed now. Because I believe in a reasonable time frame, you're burning your bright young offensive lines years of their time by resetting with a rookie quarterback. You bring in somebody with a, Daniel Jones, and I advocated for him. Daniel Jones, you plug and play him right now. Or, who, again, look at the whole list. I don't know the status of all these NFL quarterbacks contract, but I would say the Sam Darnolds, the Daniel Jones. I think both of those are real. I'm not talking about Jack. You like that, don't you? I'm not talking about that.
Kirk
Jack.
Cousins, Captain Kirk.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the crappiest, richest quarterback in the history of the NFL. I'm not talking about him. I'm not talking about the 12-time retread Carson Wentz. I'm talking about the Daniel Jones, the Sam Darnold that are in the neighborhood of that meaty second. Actually, it's sad to say now, Darnold's a little actually past that second contract right now. As weird as that is,
he is technically in. Well, I mean, I guess it all breaks up, right? Because he was on rookie deal with Jets Carolina, but once he went over to San Francisco, he was just on a nothing deal.
So he's an anomaly.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of a veteran, and frankly, just so we're talking.
Okay,
here, right?
sure, all right.
With the amount of picks the Jets have,
yeah,
I can do both.
100%, 100%, you could, yeah.
And then I don't have to break the bank for Danny Dimes. I don't have to break the bank for Sam Darnold. I do the trade. I do a similar contract, although a lot more expensive than Justin Fields. And then I've got this other first-round pick and maybe toss in a second. Now I don't have to throw out the baby, the bathwater. I don't have to wait for this guy to sit for 3 years until 2028 until he really understands everything. I could do both. That is what I would do.
Okay, so let's address this part of the equation. Justin Fields is $10 million guaranteed money next year. By the way, Benjamin Albright, for his conversation, he believes Justin is not going to be on the team next year. We had limited time, so I didn't get a chance to explore that thought with him. But there was a lot of Justin Fields. I would call them jokes, but like jokes are like, aha. But if they weren't, he just was very blunt that Justin Fields is terrible, and that's where they're at. But does Justin Fields come back next year? What's your gut say on that? Yeah or nay? Because he's got $10 million guaranteed, so he should be back probably. But if you're going to draft a rookie and we employ the greedy strategy, which I love, sure, let's cry. We're never going to say, geez, this guy had too much time to develop. Oh no, that would be beneficial. But do you trust Justin to be the bridge to carry the water and that he will be good enough that we don't have to go to the rookie quarterback? Like the Giants are dysfunctional for a lot of reasons, but they had Jameis Winston and Russell. So they had all this insulation that they didn't have to go to Jackson Dart before they wanted to. They ultimately went to him anyway, but they had choices. Even if a guy got injured, they didn't that was the problem with 2023. Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. They go to Zach Wilson. There was not, and they said Zach Wilson needed time to sit and watch. They should have had another veteran of insulation. So just in case Aaron got hurt, they could still follow the plan. Then they just said, I'm sure he's fine. And then that was a disaster. So is Justin Fields returning next year? What's your gut say? Yeah or nay?
I would stop, I would not. I would look to draft a rookie quarterback. I would look to get a veteran about to enter his second contract.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this: if it's
Okay.
burn $10 million to cut him, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I would use him in other ways.
Sure.
He could become
Slash.
He could become Slash. Why not? $10 million is not that much money to pay a versatile scat back player, have him come out in the Wildcat, 3 or 4 times a game, or the end around, what a jet sweep. The kid's fast, and every once in a while, and they would never know when he does the jet sweep, right? You wouldn't be able to abandon those receivers on the jet sweep when he had the ball, right?
Yeah.
And so
I'd probably keep Justin because, to your point, and Cordell Stewart, by the way, for our younger members of our audience, / Cordell Stewart, give that a Goog search, kids. I would keep him because then get another veteran in because free agency happens before draft. So you have Justin. Hey, I mean, the contract's a contract. What are we just going to light this money on fire? Sure. As long as he's not, a psychopath in the locker room, by all accounts, he's not. So, okay, he and then whatever the veteran is. I haven't studied the free agent class for next year yet, so I can't give you guys great answers for who that could be. But whoever that is, and again, it's a Giants thing. They signed Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson, and then the Jackson Dart thing presented itself. So add another veteran in. Him and Justin are competing. That creates that sort of insulation. And so I think that's it, too. Another super chat here, and then we will go to the phone lines. Dak Prescott? Oh, Dak?
Zero chance.
Oh,
Zero chance.
Yeah.
And I would tell you that anybody saw, the Cowboys' record is not because of Dak Prescott.
Oh, definitely not. No. And with what they just, I don't think. Here's why it wouldn't make sense. Maybe for a couple. Let me put this out there. I love Dak. So if he's an option, Bob, who is it? Bob Letterer. I don't want to misrepresent, but I think it was Bob yesterday who said Dak Prescott wouldn't want him. I'm like, what? Dak Prescott? I'm like, hell yeah, I would have wanted.
People have deluded themselves.
I guess
there's a lot of people
this year.
People just hate, and he frankly should have won it a few years ago. People just hate Dak Prescott. You go back and look at his wins, right? Yeah. You're talking about his rookie season. He won 13 fucking games in a row. Are you shitting me? Yeah, I mean, what are we even talking about?
So I would 100% want that. If that, we're talking about veteran quarterbacks that surprisingly become available, I would be first in line for Dak Prescott if that was possible. But some Jet fans are confused on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, and just, his 3 of his playoff losses was the catch that wasn't a catch. That was a catch, right? And then the defense.
Wait, that wasn't him. That was Tony Romo. Des Bryant you're talking about? Yeah, the Packers game. There's definitely Tony Romo.
Close. But anyways, the 2 games that the defense blew for them had nothing to do with that.
Right, the Rams game.
You watched the first 5 games of the season, right, before the defense shit itself.
Oh, the regular season. Talking about this year.
The regular season this year, right? He was MVP candidate, and then the defense suckiness overcame him. So, anyways.
But and then the other reason why, so I would love him if that's an option, but they just traded for Quinnen Williams to go all in, Cowboys, Micah. Yeah, they went all in. So for them to then suddenly pivot, just fucking with you, Dak, see ya. They don't have for all the Joe Milton fans in Dallas. I don't think so.
Yeah, and I would just share this one last thing for those people that are shitting on Dak Prescott, and just to put it, take a minute for yourself. Those people out there that hate him, and go look up the multiple-time MVP of the Baltimore Ravens and stack his stats up in the playoff against Dak, and he gets a fucking pass. So you've got to be shitting me. You don't really you don't know what you're talking about. Just for the record, with all due respect.
I think you're supposed to do the with all due respect thing in the beginning, and then your insult. But
with all due respect, everyone gets a pass unless you wear a star on the side of your helmet. With
all due respect. All right, well, let's do this. Let's open up the phone lines, baby. Man, a fun show so far. We have 500 people in the room. Again, like the video, hit subscribe. We're trying to make a chase to 10,000 subscribers. I saw in the middle of the show, we have surged over 8,150. So shout out to all the fans out there. Appreciate it. Quick half timeout, and your phone calls next. You're on the show.
1, 2, 3. Whoa! Fucking Davey. fucking daily. I'm talking Jets football, man. Boy Green daily, fucking daily, fucking daily. The New York Jets football club. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. Everyone,
J-E-T-S, Jets.
Boy Green, fucking daily, fucking daily, fucking daily. We're talking Jets football, man. Boy Green, fucking daily, fucking daily, fucking daily. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green.
J-E-T-S, Jets.
Let's go!
That's gonna be the celebration and the post-game show tomorrow. Jets Browns. We're gonna kick some Cleveland ass. Let's go. How more excited can you be than to take out the 2-win Dylan Gabriel Cleveland Browns? Oh yeah, that's gonna be excellent. We'll have 5 hours of live stream tomorrow on the channel. Again, that's youtube.com/BoyGreen25. All right, Pop, you ready for the phones?
I am ready.
Okay. Wow. Very, very well put together. Yes, ready. Okay. Here we go. Let's dive into the deep end. Let's talk to your brother from another mother. It's Uncle Indy.
Hey now.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm glad you made your safe travels, Pops. Spreading the BG love all over the world, man.
That's right.
So, let's talk about this Dallas trade.
Yeah.
Because you're a Dallas expert, right? Right. We would, close enough.
Yeah, there you go. Close enough.
Yeah. So the Dallas gave Quinnen Williams, got Quinnen Williams, and gave up a first and a second, and then they gave up another first round pick.
Mm-hmm.
And so my question to you, and I'm a big Mazi fan. Anybody out of Michigan, Mazi played next to Aiden Hutchinson. He played next to Mason Graham. He played next to Kenneth Grant. And even when Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant were on the team, Mazi was still on the field. So they rotated Graham and Grant together. So my question is why did the Cowboys, because I heard you say Mazi's just too slow, right? Why did the Cowboys take a guy that's not a power rusher? He's not he didn't go after the quarterback. He was not the fastest guy on the team. His job was to clog up the middle and take offensive linemen out of their stance. Why did they have him put on an extra 20, 25 pounds from his playing weight, slowed him down, and then complain about him being too slow?
Yeah, I am not aware that they asked him to double up on the cheeseburgers. But I will say that what I have heard is his work ethic in training camp and in the facility is not what you would expect from a first-round draft pick. And I think that's not hidden. I don't have any insider information.
Yeah.
I think that has been the word coming out of Dallas.
Well documented, apparently.
Yeah, he wasn't like that in Michigan. Like I said, his playing weight was around 317, and now he's at 337. And from what I followed Mazi for a long time. I wanted to draft him. I was hoping he was going to fall to us in the second round. We ended up taking Tittman instead. Not instead, but because he was already taken. But I was hoping he was going to fall. But it was in that Joe Tittman draft. And we needed that run stuffing big man up the center. This guy is the guy that we were all talking about drafting this year. Not a Mazi Smith, but we needed a big bodied guy. And Quinnen Williams was not it. His performance has gone down. I don't see how Dallas can say that they won this trade. And as much as I love Quinnen was one of the softest spoken guys and just a loved Jet. So we're not gonna. I don't want to talk negative about him, but his play had declined. He wasn't the same All-Pro Quinnen Williams, and the one All-Pro that he did make last year wasn't the back to the All-Pro Quinnen, and this year declined even more. So it's a 2-year decline. It's not just we're going to blame it on AG this year. Last year he wasn't very good either. And so I don't see where Dallas. How does that help Dallas Cowboys for getting a declining defensive lineman and giving up what they gave up?
Yeah, I would start by saying I didn't say that the Cowboys won the trade. That I did not allude to that. I said I was satisfied with the trade. I think with the quality of, we'll see how declining. I don't believe this year is a good data point for Quinnen Williams saying that he declined this year. I don't think there was enough skin in the game. And last year was probably the biggest shit show of a football season I've ever seen for the Jets with Hassan Reddick. It was like a 3-ring peanut circus last year, right? 4 plays and this, that, or the other. So
the one thing I will chime in, and this is from Rich Simeon on the Flight Deck podcast. So this goes to, again, Dylan Terraman maybe would be better to talk about some of this, fellow Jets content creator in the universe. This is subtle to the casual fan, but Quinnen, according to Rich Simeon and people around, Rich Simeon spoke to people around Quinnen Williams. He believes he was playing out of position. He was playing, I can't remember whether it was 3 technique or 1 technique. Either way, he was playing the opposite one, which Quinnen felt put him in a position where he wasn't getting to utilize his abilities that he was able to provide. And Rich Simeon did a whole thing on his podcast this week. I highly recommend people go and listen to that on the Flight Deck podcast. He talked about the subtle differences and how Quinnen's camp thought that was affecting his production and ultimately affecting how he was being utilized. So he had a criticism of that with Steve Wilkes, and he believes going to the Cowboys in this case was his preferred destination, that they will unlock him to that level. So if that's true, then maybe the down year that appears to be statistically is related to that other thing. Some of that sort of like excuses because he's a really good player, but
yeah, and I wish nothing but the best for Quinn. I hope he goes to Dallas and succeeds and gets even if he gets another All-Pro, good for Q, because he's not one of those players. Like when Jamal Adams left, the entire fan base was all there to help him back and provide rides to get out of town. Quinnen, that's a completely different story, and I don't think that there's probably a single Jets fan that's anti-Quinnen. I don't think you could be. I don't think there's probably anybody in life that's probably anti-Quinnen because he's such a nice guy.
He was like the Survivor guy, right? You have that Survivor guy that he gets voted out, and as he's going out, he's like, you. I hate all you, rotten hell. I got screwed. Q would walk up, they snuff the torch. He's like, give everyone a hug.
I mean, that's what he did. If you listen to his media availability with the Cowboys, like he said, was I frustrated? Of course I was. The world could see I was frustrated with losing. I'm a winner. I went to Alabama, lost like 3 games in my college career. I don't like losing, and I've only known losing in the NFL level. So he said, yes, I was clearly frustrated, but he said I wanted to try to turn around all these other things. So yeah, he said all the right things.
Yeah, so I'm happy for Quinn, and if he's happy, then we're all happy. I don't wish anything negative on him. And again, the Sauce trade, I don't think that there's not a single person besides outside of the Colts and Jets that knew anything about that going on.
Definitely
not. And so that's another win for this coaching staff. It does say though that AG is going to be here for probably at least, no matter what happens, really probably 3 years. I mean, you allowed him to make these trades, and everybody says AG runs the team. And Muji is the deal maker. Then AG probably told him, go make this happen, and then whatever you get out of it, go do what you do good. And so
you guys can help me out with this. I would say historically, Woody has never fired a coach, or he hasn't. He's given them plenty of runway. He's given them a fair runway as coach over his time as the owner. Right? He hasn't bebopped around. Now, I will tell you that he probably, based on last year, I think he self-reflected and told himself, I probably did the wrong thing. I probably did the wrong thing by firing Saleh midseason. And I bet you if he had that over to do again, he would not do it. And so I think
I think if he had to do it over again, he would have done it at the end of the season before.
Right.
He wouldn't have, he probably wouldn't have.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So I'm thinking that now he's learned from that. And I think Aaron Glenn is going to, unless the wheels fall off, I think he's going to run out the entire contract. And he's got, we talked about it earlier, right? He's got the draft picks. He's got the money. Now, if he fails, there's no excuse. There's no excuses now, right?
Yeah.
No, and for Woody to actually come out and admit, hey, I need to be a better owner. Now that was all in the same. That was all in the same conversation where he kind of threw the quarterback under the bus. So, but there again, he threw the quarterback under the bus a little bit, and we come out and get a win.
Ultra motivator, baby.
Right, and at least if Woody's now admitting that, hey, I've been doing this job for 20 years and I've not done a good job so far. Okay, admitting your mistakes and allowing it to grow. Finally, I mean, it's taken 20 years and maybe he's a little slow, but at least so you're saying there's a chance, BG, as you always say.
That's it.
But there again, that's just what it is. If you've got Woody finally admitting, hey, he made some mistakes and I'm not going to make these mistakes anymore. I got 20 years of mistakes. Well, good for you, Woody. And we get rid of Sauce, who was a great Jet. He never gave any flack for the team, and you got a good haul for the guy, and it at a 1-7 team. Sauce wasn't going to change this team. We weren't going to miraculously win the next 10 games because of how well Sauce played. So, there we go. I think that Muji, probably AG threw it out there and go, what can we get for this guy? This is one of our top guys. And he got what he got a pretty good haul. And so let's go get a quarterback. I don't know if this year's draft is
right. I don't know yet either.
Is really quarterback friendly, and by the time the draft rolls around, they'll have these guys pumped up to be first rounders, and it always happens every year. And 1 out of 4 actually turn out to be a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL. So
fingers crossed, Uncle Andy.
Right, yeah. But it's always a pleasure to see you guys, and we'll be smoking chicken quarters all day today.
There you go. That's the spirit, baby. Uncle Indy there on the show. We have 500 people in the room. I see 120 of those are on YouTube, yet we only have 70 likes. 50 of you are just watching this right now. It's getting weird, okay? Get involved. Throw a like button, for God's sakes. Hit that like button there on the program and show your friggin' support. That's how this Jet show gets in front of other Jet fans out there in the universe as we continue again our chase to 10,000 subs. So every day we're getting a few more. That's pretty nice. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We have Alon. Not Alon. It's Alon in all caps, baby. He's coming emphatic today with the Iowa gear on. What's up, my fellow Hawkeye? What's going on?
Morning, gentlemen. Pop, you are a Cowboy fan. You do realize that Tony Romo threw that pass to Des Bryant. You do.
Yeah, I forgot. I was ready about it. I was a year off. A year off. That's right.
I was going to take away your Cowboy card for screwing that one up. Okay. I live in Dallas. Okay. I have a lot of friends who are Cowboy fans. They would trade Dak Prescott for a bag of Doritos right now. Okay. There's no chance in hell I would give that guy $60 million a year. Okay. I've seen him in the playoffs. He shits the bed time after time after time. Again, I'm not a huge Lamar Jackson fan. I understand your comparison. I am not touching Dak Prescott. I am not touching Kyler Murray. You talk about Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes works because he's playing under a brilliant mind in Shane Steichen. He would never work in New York with the guys that we have, okay? And he came from Kevin O'Connell as well. Okay. And Joe Burrow's not getting traded. Okay. So when you're talking about veterans versus rookies,
Yeah.
With the way the Jets are set up right now, with over $100 million of cap space, 12 draft picks this year, 5 first rounders in the next 2 years, 3 second rounders in the next 2 years. I'm taking this slow, okay? I'm taking this to the point where I wouldn't even think about trading up for a quarterback this year if somehow, some way, the Jets find a way to pick to win games. I only see 3 quarterbacks that's worthy of top 7 picks, and that would be Simpson, Mendoza, and Moore. And I don't think Moore's going to the draft. I think he's
Todd McShay just had those comments from scouts that it looks like Dante Moore's going back, which is something you said a couple weeks ago. So yeah, it looks like Dante Moore's going back.
Yeah, he's going to get a lot of Nike money. Okay, that's why he's staying.
Good for
in
him,
Oregon,
Phil Knight.
Okay?
Salute.
Okay. The Jets, in my opinion, at 1-7 right now, are in one of the more enviable positions.
Enviable.
In sports.
Okay. All right.
Unbelievable spot they're in.
All
They
right.
have so much opportunity in the next 2 years to shine, and this is where Muji gets to earn his paycheck.
There you go, baby. Yeah.
You have so many opportunities. I even mentioned this to Paul yesterday. I would take the Indy pick that they have late in the first round. I would trade back, and maybe they can find themselves a 4th first-round pick in 2027, where the draft is going to be unreal. You have 3 top-tier wide receivers in the 2027 draft. I would not trade up for a wide receiver in the 2026 draft. Again, I would rather have more 25 to 60 draft picks than top 10 draft picks in this draft. There is so much talent in terms of depth than there are in terms of top-tier talent in this draft. The top-tier talent is in the 2027 draft. It's not in the 2026 draft. By the way, if the Jets lose out and let's say they go 2-15 and Mendoza's there, I would take him. I would not trade up to get him. I would not trade up to get Simpson. I would not trade up to get Dante Moore. I don't think those guys are worthy of trade ups. Those are guys.
Okay, here's a ridiculous thing, Alon. Okay, so let's say the Jets have the number 1 overall pick. They take your guy, Fernando Mendoza. And let's say Mendoza, he's whatever. He's just mid. Like, he ends up getting on the field,
I would
whatever.
not take another quarterback.
You do not, you say?
I do not.
Okay, even though you have 3 swings. I've
Because
seen that on social media. Yeah.
First of all, I don't even Woody Johnson is a moron. I agree with this. Okay. Woody Johnson would not allow the same regime to take quarterbacks in back-to-back first rounds. I just don't think it'll work. I know it happened once with Josh Rosen and Kyler Murray.
Arizona.
I don't think it will happen again. I don't. I think that's just complete
unique. Okay.
Unique. Would I take Mendoza at number 1? I'd be leery, but I could see it. It's a weird draft up top because there isn't some blue chip stud. I mean, I don't want to take the safety out of Ohio State that high.
Yeah, Caleb Downs.
I wouldn't take him that high.
What about Ruben?
Ruben Bain. The problem with Ruben Bain is you'll see in the combine, his arm length is only 30. So you'll see he might
T-Rex
slip.
Arms.
He might slip a little bit. But again, I would not trade up for a quarterback in this draft. I would rather stand pat. If one of those 3 fall to us, perfect.
Okay.
If we pick outside of those 3, I would rather trade back and go all in 2027. Okay.
I am curious if the Jets win a couple of games and they're like, I don't know,
5-12.
Yeah, sure, right, and they're hanging somewhere in the back end of the top 10. Does Aaron Glenn, who was captain safety in Detroit, go Caleb Downs for the safety thing? Even though what other people think positional value versus him, I'm curious if he pulls that trigger. Now, a lot of Jet fans are going to get Jamal Adams like nightmares, but I'm curious if AG would pull that trigger. I don't think he would do that at number 1 overall, but if they're sitting 5 to 10,
I'm not.
I wonder if he does.
Safety in the top 10. I'm not taking a safety. I know you guys are Notre Dame guys. I would not take a running back in the top 10.
Jeremiah,
even though Jeremiah Love will go in the top 15, he will. He's the best running back in this class. Again, if I would take any defensive player in this draft up top, it would be Arvell Reese out of Ohio State. I think he's a complete player, and I know they're playing him mostly inside. I think he's a guy who's a unicorn who could play mostly outside. But again, with 8 premium picks in the next 2 years, I would not go and trade multiple picks for a veteran. And I don't know what Benjamin told you. Maybe go trade for Kyler Murray. Please, no. I have no desire for Kyler Murray. Dak Prescott is I'll say he's between 9 and 15 as far as quarterbacks in this league.
Oof.
I don't think he's a top 8 quarterback. I know people.
Damn.
I don't think he's a top 8 quarterback. Again, he's not worth $60 million a year also. Okay.
Worth is a funny word, right?
Okay. I'm not paying him $60 million a year, please. Okay. And again, I've seen his last couple of playoff games. He shit the bed. I'll just be honest. Okay. Again, always a pleasure. Go Browns tomorrow.
Yep.
And today, again, if you're a college football fan, 3:30 Eastern, in a dreary, wet, snowy Kinnick Stadium, Dante Moore gets his beating. Okay, go Hawkeyes.
There you go. Lon, joining us on the program.
10:30 Romanian time. By the way, if you want to see the worth of Jeremiah Love, watch him on the 4-yard line against Boston College last week.
Oh yeah, but what a play! Yeah,
I will tell you that the secondary of Boston College, with a 20-yard head start on him, could not catch. He went past them, and not slowly. So go watch that play against Boston College. This game's really in jeopardy. Holy shit! And 96 yards later.
Hey, if the Cowboys don't bring back Javonte Williams, I imagine you'd love to get that jersey.
I would love. We haven't had a Notre Dame running back since Double J.
Is that true?
Jones.
Oh, damn. Okay. Well, been a hot second, I guess. All right. Well, Kyron Williams.
Yeah.
He's killing it for the Rams. Come on, let's get some love for.
I said the Cowboys haven't had.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. All right, Pop. I don't know what your situation is. We have a bunch of callers left, but what's the Romanian dinner? Breakfast. I don't know what time it is over there.
It's almost dinner time. We could do a couple more, and then what is it? Okay. The kids say I got a dip.
Okay. There you go. You're using the hippest lingo. All right, let's go in order here. Easy. He's dipping in. What's up, Easy?
Well, actually, it's I got a jet or I got a bounce is what the kids would say.
Oh, is that? Oh, okay. Thanks for that. Yeah, appreciate it.
So you're in my the country of my grandparents' origin.
Oh, I didn't know you were Romanian. Easy. Okay, nice. Yeah.
Ukrainian, Romanian, and Austrian.
Oh, wow. A number one Austrian Jet fan, number one Romanian fan. Oh, great. Okay.
Yep.
So in the family
tree, I think it's actually Russian, but I will never admit to that anymore. I'm Ukrainian as far as I'm concerned now.
Okay.
And so if you look in your family tree, you'll find Gru.
We'll find some goulash.
Gru.
Okay. All right. That's close enough.
Any minions? Anyways.
All right. What's on your mind, DC?
Well, first off, Alon, love you, but you're insane. Number two, what Arizona did a couple of years ago with Josh Rosen and Kyler Murray was fucking genius. They were smart. They didn't sit there and try to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. They were like, no, this guy ain't got it. And they just moved right on. They didn't waste any time, and it's worked. So, I mean, we have the draft capital. If something stupid happens, we can do that. And if I was Woody, I'd be all about it. I'd tell the coaches, all right, well, first round quarterbacks are, basically a lottery ticket. Sometimes you win some big and sometimes you lose. I mean, look how close the Buffalo Bills were to almost getting rid of Josh Allen. If he didn't turn it around when he turned it around, he was probably done. He turned it around. I think he was in his third year, and he finally turned that page and started doing it. So it takes a while for some of these guys to catch on. And now look at how good he is. I mean, even though Geno didn't have a good game, this past couple of weeks, he turned it around. I mean, Darnold turned it around. I mean, how many players have you seen in the past that have turned it around? Your dad probably remembers this guy, quarterback out of Stanford, Jim Plunkett. Remember him? He was horrible for years. He was horrible. and then he won a Super Bowl and was freaking genius with the Raiders. Some of these guys, it just takes time. Testaverde sucked his first 4 or 5 years.
Sure.
I mean, and all the best guys, with the exception of a couple. I would say there was a couple of guys that would, and even with Peyton Manning, his first year he sucked.
Yep, he was booty.
Yeah, it takes these guys time, and the problem with the modern NFL is they don't give these kids time. I'm looking at Daniel Jones. Looks like this kid actually might have figured it out. And what is this, his 4th season?
For who?
Daniel Jones.
This should be 5th, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think
He got,
all right, yeah. See, 4 or 5 years. It takes a long time for a quarterback to develop in the NFL. This is not college. This is not like you're going up against a college team and they got a couple of guys.
This is 7th, actually. 7th for him. Yeah, so he's been around for a while. Yeah, 2019. Yeah, so he's been around.
Right. You got to remember, when you're playing college ball, you're playing against the best high schoolers in the country. Yeah. When you're playing in Pro Bowl, you're now playing against the best college guys in the country. So it goes from Pee Wee football to JV to varsity to redshirting in college to a bona fide college player to a draft pick, and then we're talking about the cream of the crop. And you're not playing against guys in the secondary that are slow or stupid. Even the slowest, stupidest safety in the NFL is head and shoulders better than anything you've probably seen in college. Unless you were going up against Sauce when he was with Cincinnati, who was just amazing back then. I think Sauce regressed a little bit, just a little bit. But I also think, a couple of seasons of losing will just depress you. I mean, I think Quinnen had to get out of here for his fucking sanity. I mean, he just, like you said, he only lost 3 games in his entire college career. And he's only won like 15, 20 games in the pros.
Well, the good news is easy. He's got a Dallas in there. 3-5-1. Well, I guess he's going to keep no one losing. Right, Pop?
What was the game that we went to? What was the score of that game?
I don't remember that at all. I don't remember that at all. But thank you, Easy. We're gonna have to go a little quicker through the phone calls to get to as many of you as possible here with Pop approaching Romanian dinner. Up next, Mr. Famous Fulton.
Good morning, Paul. Morning, Pop.
Nice.
Yeah, double ball.
Those shades.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, thank you. I've been busy lately, Paul.
Okay. I don't know if you're talking to me or him, but yes.
Yeah, I'm just talking to you, Paul. But anyways, I got some posters I got to put out today.
Okay, yeah, let's take a gander here. What do we got?
Well, I had the posters for the Singing in the Rain.
Yeah, okay.
And I made like 25 copies of them.
Oh, wow, those look great.
Yes. So I got to go around town and put these up.
Okay.
So people can come see the show.
Oh, awesome!
And it's gonna be an incredible show, and it's gonna be a fun show. We got the costumes tomorrow.
Ooh, nice!
I gotta get ready for that.
Okay.
We gotta move to Noblesville for White River Christian Church.
Oh, great!
For the show. So yeah, we've been pretty busy lately. So.
Oh, that's awesome!
Nice.
Do you have anything else to share here, Mr. Famous Fulton?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, thank you for showing us the posters and whatnot, and good luck.
I sure will, Paul. I'll let you know if we could send you guys the video for you guys.
Oh, yeah, please do. We'd appreciate it. There he is, Mr. Fulton, gracing us with his presence. There he goes. Singing in the Rain. Excellent. All right. Up next here, Philly Noodles is up next here on the program. What's up, Philly?
What up, gentlemen? How you doing?
Oh, excellent.
Good.
Yes, yeah.
Paul double. I'd like to speak for behalf of Woody. Without a doubt, after watching that Zach Wilson debacle, 17 quarterbacks, including Joe Flacco, play on the team, I think he'd be up for them punting the future several times to make sure they can get a pick at quarterback every year for the next decade. Like, there's no way in hell that he's adverse to this theory, without a doubt. Because after what he went through with them getting Aaron Rodgers and then blowing his Achilles, there's no way. Like whatever's going on, he's fully on board with. He has to be. You know what I mean? Like that's a. You don't want to turn into the Browns, right? And we have been, where we have 1,000 quarterbacks ripping the back of the jersey, putting another name on it, Velcroing it on. That's what we've turned into. So without a doubt, I don't think Woody is adverse to them doing whatever they got to do to get a quarterback, whichever way it is.
Yeah.
I think the worst thing would be to go get an older guy through a trade. Because
not that there's anything wrong with that. Not that there's anything wrong with that at
not.
all. No, absolutely.
But I think that would be his least favorite option. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Draft a quarterback, you get the 4 years, and the 5th year for the money controlled. You can always, you know what I mean? The cap keeps growing. There's so many reasons why for business purposes, right? Don't forget, everybody forgets it's a business. As a business, I could take that opportunity because I know, okay, well, my taxes are cleared, and then I can put that in the books, and then I can take that off the book. Like, there's so many things you can do right when you keep resetting. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
speaking of cooking, we need to let Brady cook.
Oof. I mean, for the fact that you might as well. Why not? I mean, what do we got going on too? Right between this game coming up, he's still holding to the chest. Who's the quarterback? Right?
Yeah, he is. But here's the thing, right? So I think obviously you give the ball to Justin this week. If he turns back into a pumpkin, and it seems like some insiders are sort of like whispering, like we believe those insiders say they believe that's going to happen. If that does, then let Brady cook is going to happen all to itself. If Justin stinks, they're going to flip to Tyrod over these next couple of weeks. If he stinks or can't stay healthy, then the Jets are going to go, well, once we're mathematically eliminated, all right, final 3 games or whatever for Brady.
Did you say mathematically eliminated? What are you even talking about?
Okay, if you go back to the 2000,
you traded away your best 2 players. Mathematically eliminated.
If you go back to the 2009 Rex Ryan thing when the Jets lost to the Falcons, he went, geez, it's all over for us. The season's over. And then he got off the press conference and a Jets person went, actually, coach, we're not mathematically eliminated from the playoffs yet.
You were 1-7.
Hey, you know what?
First off, hold on, Pops. Let's say something here. We won without
playoffs. Are you talking about the playoffs?
We won without Sauce. I'm sure we can win another game without Sauce.
100%.
Now, Williams is tough because he ate so much, room in the middle of the field there at the line. But if they could just get Mazi Smith to feel halfway good about what happened to him being traded to the Jets and just does half of whatever he does, he's going to be rotational anyway. So you're going to have Briggs coming in. You're going to have Phillips coming in. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, and what Quinnen had 1 sack.
He did. He only had 1 sack.
He gets a sack.
He only had 1 sack. And by the way, shout out to Frankie here, who says, but Justin hasn't thrown an interception yet, right, Paul? Hey, by the way, 167 attempts this season and no picks. He could be the first Jets starting quarterback in history to not throw a single interception the entire season.
He might be the only quarterback that would do that. Right? I would assume so.
That's what I'm saying. I think I'll have to double check the other record and pour one out for this guy. Mark Sanchez was just fired from Fox. He had the previous, believe it or not, because of all the interceptions early in his career, he had the previous streak of starting a season without an interception. It was Justin is close. It was I think it was the 170 or 180 attempts before he threw his first pick. So Justin's creeping closer.
Listen, I don't know. All I have to say is we need to understand that obviously Justin's not it. And if any fan hangs their hat up on that, I know being sarcastic or not, if you really aren't sarcastic, you need to go see a therapist immediately. Or join him in that closet and cry with him because maybe he comes out.
We'll see.
Yeah, that closet, man. Hopefully he goes back in the closet. Would he say something mean, please, in the next couple of days here?
Hey, and if it works, we'll see it against Cleveland. So fingers crossed. Philly, appreciate you, man. There he is joining us here on the program. Let's keep the conga line going. Again, over 500 people in the room. Guys, like the video, hit subscribe. We only have 80-something likes, but there's over 100 of you in the room. It's a free way to contribute to the show. Up next is your favorite washer and dryer, Neil Sr.
What's up, guys? Down in Sunny Isles, Miami, getting some nice weather.
Wow,
here.
beautiful. Look at that. Okay.
Anyway, Couldn't tell you how happy I am of what's gone on in the last week with the draft
Oh,
picks.
okay.
I am super stoked. Very happy to get rid of the number one overrated player in football being Sauce Gardner and the second overrated high contract player being Quinnen Williams. I say that simply because, I watch the games. I see the way these players have dropped off the last 2 years. Quinnen Pops, I got to tell you one thing. I saw last game, his effort was so poor. I saw a backup guard pushing him around without even double teaming him. He gave up. JJ is the only guy on that team on defense, and I'm missing maybe one or two other guys on defense that have given a real good effort the last 4 or 5 weeks. So I don't like when a player gives up, and frankly, I think Quinnen kind of quit on the team. And looking at his tape, you would not be happy if you looked at his tape and said what kind of player it is. But on from that, as far as the draft picks are concerned, I'm not a draft guy. I never thought I would be one. But looking at the development of a rookie quarterback, one thing you got to say, when we got Sam, we had probably the worst roster in football, if not top 3 worst rosters in football. And he came into a very, very bad situation on the offensive line. He was under a lot of duress very early, as was most of the quarterbacks that come out of the draft early. They really don't have a great offensive line to start with. We have a really unique situation because any quarterback that comes to us out of the draft is going to have a probably top 5. I'm not saying for sure. On paper, it's a top 5 offensive line. Let's see how it works the rest of the season.
Sure, yeah.
But we have a top 5 offensive line that a guy's going to step into. And the guys that have succeeded coming out of college, C.J. Stroud played really well his first season because Texas had a good offensive line.
Of course.
Right, Pops? Am I wrong about that?
That's right.
How about, now you look at Daniel Jones, right? The Colts have a tremendous offensive line. Daniel Jones's first game last week, he finally got pressure on him, and he turned into a pumpkin. Sam Darnold with Minnesota had an amazing amount of time to pass, and that's when he had that 14-win season. But if you remember in the playoffs, when they got pressure on Sam Darnold, and even us, when we played Minnesota, we got pressure on him, and he was the same old Sam Darnold. These quarterbacks, when you get pressure on them, that's the difference between a top 10 quarterback and any other quarterback is how they react when they get pressure. And I think we have a unique situation with the draft that we could take a quarterback, make him better, and if there is another quarterback out there, a veteran quarterback that's not performed up to speed, he could come to us and perform much better under our offense because we have the weapons. Whether or not we could develop them is a different story. But if we take somebody that's been through the league a little bit and we combine him with Justin Fields turning into Taysom Hill, that's my comparison with Justin Fields. He could be a Taysom Hill even better because he's faster. So,
sure, yeah.
I don't see any way of if Justin Fields doesn't turn out to be an adequate thrower of the ball, and I still think it's incomplete right now, guys. I think there's some time here for him to turn into a really good bridge quarterback. But if he doesn't, he certainly could be a top weapon for us next year, coming in certain situations and really perform. Those are the things I got to say. Take care, and we'll talk soon.
There he is, Neil, joining us here on the program. Some very strong points. I like that from Neil, and also enjoying the lovely weather of Miami. We'll squeeze in one last call. It's Ricky New York Live here, baby. What's up, Ricky?
Hey, how you doing, Paul? I kind of overslept a little bit this morning, and I missed a good chunk of the show. However, when I read the headline, I kind of skipped back to the beginning because I was like, let me see what this is all about. And I heard you and your dad talking, and you were talking about, having to watch Sauce with the Colts and how it kind of stinks that Sauce is gone.
Yeah.
But I got some news for you.
Okay, great.
I'm dropping a new video today that, let's call it a deep dive into why these two guys are gone. That goes, that goes beyond their play and kind of goes into some detail about why exactly those two guys got traded. And I highly recommend you and everybody watch it. Let's say it'll help soften the blow considerably.
Okay, great. And you said, where can I do that? What YouTube channel was that, Ricky? I'm sorry.
Ricky New York Live.
And Ricky New York. Okay.
And just to help Neil out with what he was saying about beyond JJ, there were a few guys that were still playing hard. Those guys would be Brownlee, Briggs, Azarie Thomas, Malachi Moore, all the Aaron Glenn guys. Those are the guys that are playing hard right now. Just a little observation.
Hey, Pop,
So,
I know you have to go, Pop. So, Pop, I want to say appreciate it. Thank you so much. As always, we'll finish up this Ricky call and then we'll wrap up the show. But I want to give you a shout out, Pop, from Romania. Thank you for hopping on the program.
All right. Everyone have a great day.
There he is, Pop, hopping in from Romania. I know we're cutting down on his Romanian dinner time there, so I wanted to get that in. But no, go ahead, Ricky. Oh, did we lose Ricky? Oh. Damn it. We lost Ricky. No, wait. Maybe Ricky's back. Ricky? Oh, we lost Ricky. Oh, wow. I don't know what happened there with that call. Anywho, so I guess we can wrap up together here, Pop. All right. So that's going to wrap it up for Boy Green Daily today. What a show. 600 people in the room. Nearly a 2-hour program. Wonderful stuff there, Pop. There was a real doozy.
Yep. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for the live play-by-play. It'll be the only way I can watch any NFL tomorrow. I'll be watching watching the post-game. Watching the live play-by-play by Boy Green. So tune in and show up and show out. It's going to be good.
Yes, we're going to have, again, 5 hours of live content. So we're going to have the Boy Green Daily pregame show. We're going to have the live 3-4 hour watch party of the Jets-Browns game. And immediately following that, we'll immediately do a Jets-Browns post-game show where you guys can call into the show. You guys can also call in during Boy Green Daily after the first 30 minutes. And then during the watch party, you can call in throughout the program. Now, I'll probably keep the phone calls to breaks and intermissions because of the time difference that we have with some of these snaps and things of that nature. So for those reasons, we'll probably take calls during the breaks, but just keep that in mind. So, Pop, a good one. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. In case you missed it, as Ricky did, you could just always replay at the beginning of the video or check out the exclusive article in the YouTube description down below. I highly recommend, by the way, check out my full interview with Benjamin Albright, where all of this sprung from. Some great insider conversation on a Jets quarterback veteran trade they could make. Make sure you guys check that out as well. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Pop, it's been a pleasure.